Hello, my name is Ása and I'm back again with the course Lærum Íslensku or Let's Learn Icelandic. Now we've gone over all the letters of the Icelandic alphabet, so now we know how to pronounce them, at least in most cases, let's see. But before we finish off the pronunciation, there's one more rule that we need to cover, and this is the so-called NG and K rule. For this lesson today, it is very useful if you have some understanding about the Icelandic vowels. So what this means is that I recommend that you either watch the episode 1 and 2 before watching this session here, or if you've learned the pronunciation of the Icelandic vowels by any other means, that is absolutely fine. If you don't know the consonants perfectly and you haven't really gone over the consonants in detail, it does not matter really much for this lesson, but I think knowing the vowels will help this lesson be much clearer, and it makes much more sense to do it that way. But if you don't want to do it that way, that's your decision and you can be a rebel. So the NG and K rule is actually not really super difficult. It's actually quite simple, and it is as follows. When we have a short vowel in front of NG or in front of NK, we pronounce it as a long vowel. Okay, I will show you in detail with some examples what this means exactly. Why we have this rule, I have no idea. I didn't make it, it's just there. And in fact, one of our most famous authors, Halldór Laxness or Halldór Kiljan Laxness, he refused to use this rule, so instead of writing a short vowel in front of the NG and K, he just wrote out the long vowel the way that it's pronounced, and just nobody messed with him. But the rest of us that don't have a Nobel Prize, we usually follow the rules, so they are useful to know. So the basic rule is this: in front of NG or NK, a short vowel is always pronounced like a long vowel, and typically we don't write the long vowels ever before these letters. We just write them as short but then pronounce them as long. In the examples that I'm now going to give you, I'm going to give you mostly examples with NG more than NK, and this is simply because NG is way more common in Icelandic than NK. I could probably find words for NK as well, but these are usually sort of obscure words that you will never use, and then you'll forget them right away and so on. So I'll mostly focus on the NG words, but if you have an NK, the sound of the vowel is exactly the same. So let's just start, and then you will see how sort of easy it is. Even though the rule makes no sense, it's not difficult. So let's just start. First of all, if you have an A in front of an NG or in front of an NK, it sounds like an ow. So instead of saying A, Icelandic A is A, you will pronounce it as ow. So one example of this is the verb að langa, að langa. And as you can see, we spell it with an A, but we pronounce it with an ow. And this is true for all the cases where you have A in front of NG or in front of NK, you will always pronounce it as an ow. So instead of saying langa, we don't say this at all, we say að langa, að langa. Then we just move on to the next letter. When you have E in front of an NG and K, we actually do not pronounce it as yeah, as maybe would make sense if you just put the accent up top. This is not what we do, because yeah is a bit of a bastard of a vowel, because it's actually a combination of a consonant and a vowel, like we discussed in the previous lessons. So instead of pronouncing it like a yeah, we pronounce E in front of NG or in front of NK as A. As A. So one example of this is the word lengi, lengi. And as you can see, we sort of write it like lengi, lengi, but we don't say this. We don't ever say this. We always say lengi, lengi. And this means for a long time. So the next vowel that we're going to look at is the letter E, the letter E. And here we go back to instead of pronouncing E in front of NG and K like an E, we pronounce it as E, as an E. And this is very, very common in Icelandic to see the combination of ing. It's very, very common. It's extremely common. One example of a word is, for example, aumingi. Aumingi. And as you can see, we pronounce it as aumingi, not aumingi. Aumingi. And aumingi means like a weakling. And of course, because Y is pronounced the same way as I in Icelandic, this also applies when we have the double I, like we sometimes call it in Icelandic. One example of this is the verb að syngja, and this means to sing. And here we pronounce the Y as an E, syngja, að syngja. And now there comes a little bit of a funny thing, because the combination ONG is very rare in Icelandic. It's almost never in any words, and usually when we have words that have the ONG combination, they usually come from foreign words, and then we just pronounce it on. We don't do anything special with it. So when handling this rule, just forget about the O. We don't really need the O to exist right now, so just forget about this. We don't have to worry about the O when we're talking about the NG and K rules. Then we're up to the letter U, and then we have, for example, the word ungur, and this means young in male form, so this is a young male. We would call him ungur. And you can see that the first U is pronounced differently from the second U, ungur. So the second U is normal, but the first one is pronounced as U because of the NG and K rule. So instead of saying ungur, we never say this is weird, we say ungur. So ungur. Then finally the last letter of today, and this is the letter Ö, and when we have Ö in front of the NG, it is not completely obvious, I don't think it's obvious. Then instead of saying Ö, we actually say Øy. So one example is the word söngur, and this means singing. So instead of pronouncing it söngur, then we say söngur. So whenever you have an Ö in front of an NG, you actually pronounce it as Øy. So that is it. This is the rule. It sounds weird. I'm not sure there's so much logic behind it, but it's there, and therefore it's useful to know if you want to speak Icelandic in a way that makes sense. So let's just go over the rules very quickly. When we have A, it turns into an Á, so therefore we pronounce the word að langa, which means to want, instead of using the A sound. E sounds like an A when put in front of an NG, so we say lengi. E in front of an NG sounds like an E, and therefore we say aumingi, instead of using the E sound for both I's. Then when we have U in front of an NG or an NK, then it will sound like an U, and then we will say ungur. And finally, if we have Ö in front of an NG, we will pronounce it as Øy. So we will say söngur. So this is all, and I hope now that you know the NG-NK rule. Let's move on to the homework. Let us start with a short overview over what we have learned. A short vowel in front of NG and K will be pronounced as a long vowel. What does this mean? In front of either NG or NK, A will sound like Á, E will sound like E, U will sound like U, and Ö will sound like Öy. That's all. Here are 6 Icelandic words that you might not have heard before. So I'm going to ask you to try and see if you know how to pronounce them, and then I will help you along. Just press the pause button and take all the time that you need. Now I'm going to help you along, give you the answers, and here we go. The first word is klink, klink. And this actually means like coins of money. So then we call it klink, klink. Then we have the word þungur, þungur, which means heavy in the male form. Banki, banki, which means a bank. Berjaling, berjaling. This is a bear is a berry, and ling or berjaling are the low bushes where the berries grow. This is what we call berjaling. Berjaling. Then we have a very funny verb that is að krunka, að krunka. And this is the sound that the raven makes. So I have no idea what this is in English, but in Icelandic, the bird raven is making a sound. We call that að krunka. Then finally we have the word öngull, öngull. And öngull means a hook. Typically when you're fishing, then the hook of the fishing thing is called an öngull. Finally, let's just go over the 6 words that we covered in this lesson. Press the pause button, try to say them yourself, try to pronounce them yourself, and remember what the meaning of them is, and take all the time that you need. Now I'm going to give you the answers. The first is the verb að langa, which is to want. The word aumingi, aumingi. This is usually a weakling, somebody who is not strong and not fit for work. He is usually called an aumingi. So not a nice word, don't say this to people. Then we have a verb, að syngja, and this just means to sing. Then the adjective ungur, which means young in the male form. Then we have a noun that is söngur, söngur. So this means singing, but in the noun form, not in the verb form. So like the singing, we would say söngur or söngurinn if we add the. And the last word of today is the word lengi, lengi, which means for a long time. Thank you very much. And stay put because I'm going to add a short chat at the end. Kæru nemendur, ef þið eru búin að hlusta á alla þættina, þá ættu þið að vera orðin nógu góð til að geta lesið íslensku. Svona nokkurn veginn rétt allavega. Svo ég vona að þið séuð öll mjög spennt. Til hamingju með þennan áfanga. Sjáumst í næsta þætti. Bless, bless.